Ba, ba, ba. Welcome back to another episode of PlayStation Education. As you see, our third co-host, my pants, is absent from this episode. It's really hot. It's really hot here in Korea.
Yeah, and when it's hot, he likes to go to the beach or something. So his pants may not be here every episode.
Yes. My pants are.
We know he's the most popular of the three.
Yes, he'll make a cameo next episode. So today we're here to talk about the 5th installment in Telltale's The Walking Dead. This is the final episode of season 1, not including the soon to be released. In fact, it's going to be released probably within the next 12 to 18 hours. DLC 6 episode, 400 days. But here we're going to talk about the 5th episode of Walking Dead, No Time Left, appropriately named. So let's start here with a quick recap. Last episode ended with Lee getting bitten. He is dying quite rapidly. He looks real sickly in this episode, like super sickly. Oh, man. James had a choice of who he wanted to bring with him.
I messed up on that. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I messed up on that.
He actually had the opportunity to bring everyone with him, but a little slip of the tongue he told Kenny off. And so he ended up bringing with him Krista, Omid, and everyone's favorite, Beanie Weenie, the cartoon weenie version of James.
I swear to God, Ben is not James. I mean, I don't get this crap. Honestly, when you after you're done watching all this stuff,
it's going to be a picture floating here. There's going to be a picture floating here somewhere.
We'll crop it in. Yeah. Or maybe just like right here over my face. You're like, I can't tell the difference. No, seriously, he doesn't look like me. That's bullcrap. Just because he has somewhat kind of swoopy hair and he's scrawny. Oh, that's the generic James.
That's the generic James.
Screwed up.
So,
anyways,
your first big decision, probably the first big oomph of that episode. I have written here armaments. So you had
come up with this stuff?
You had the opportunity to relieve Lee of the bitten arm in a last-ditch effort to slow down the infection. Did you do it?
Yes. My initial thought was, I know. I've seen enough zombie movies to know if you do it quick enough. Obviously, this one wasn't very quick. Do it quick enough, the guy's, I'll live. I don't worry about zombie bats. And even if it doesn't, I can at least live longer. But after I made the decision, I realized it's set in stone. Lee's gonna die. I noticed that. What was the point of cutting off the arm at all?
They give you some extra time.
Well, extra time? Bullcrap. I mean, did you cut off the arm?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, well, did you last as long as
I have no idea what happens if you don't cut off the arm. From what I understand, your arm kind of goes dead.
So you can't use it anyways.
Yeah.
Alright, well. And then it's true, I did get like bad butt, BA points for cutting off my arm. Dude, you cut off your arm?
But oh my gosh, that was pretty intense. I would put that on the same league.
You cringed more than I did watching, and you already saw it once.
I would put that on the same league as the leg scene from episode 2.
The Legolas. That's another one you came
Legolas. I have a very odd sense of humor.
Very.
But that was a pretty powerful scene. That's the kind of stuff I play Walking Dead for. The stuff that just makes you go, oh my gosh, afterwards. So, next big decision. This actually, you had multiple opportunities to mention this, and you did it both times. Imply that Krista and Omid should take Clem with them. What was your thinking behind this?
Thinking was, I called it from the beginning, she was pregnant.
Yes. So,
obviously, you're not going to, just because you're pregnant, you don't know. But they were a couple. They were a good couple.
Yeah.
I feel like 2 is better than 1, obviously, taking care of Clem.
Yeah.
They showed that they cared. First off, and being pregnant and everything, she understands what it's like to care for a child. Even if it's just in her belly and it's just like the first month or whatever, she'll understand better. And then having 2 kids, although by the time she grows up enough to play with, Clem will be like freaking teens, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just having that.
And then I imagine that Clem would come in handy with taking care of the kid.
Yes. So I kind of feel like they're the best choice. They're the best choice.
I agree. I had made the same choice. So here, there was a certain scene that happened with Ben and Kenny. Of course, you let Ben live, so you got to see this whole scene
unravel.
This whole scene play out. This whole scene unravel. How did you feel about that? Like, do you feel better about Ben or better about Kenny or worse about either the other, having seen their story arc?
I feel better about both. Kenny went through a crap load of stuff. Ben was at fault for most of it, and he was willing. He was willing to not completely look past his own pain, but he was able to recognize that pain in Ben.
Yeah.
Ben had his moment where he finally stopped being a beanie weenie and actually told him off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big thing for him. And then, obviously we'll get to it, but how it ended up ending with them.
Yeah. Speaking of the ending, Ben falls.
He's impaled.
Did you... When you went down there and you saw the board covering him up, did you already feel a twinge or something?
Yeah, I was like, I'm okay. I was what's going on? I was like, nah, we're screwed, dude.
I wasn't expecting impale. What I was expecting was going to lift it up and he's just legs are broken.
I would say I agree. I feel like his legs would be backwards. I'm just freaked out. And you're just like, oh, son of a gun.
And just be like, oh, he's goner. I felt so bad trying to lift him off, and he's just like, I could be super quiet. No, Ben, you can't. You're not gonna make it. Oh, that was rough stuff. So here I have shot Ben, but not the girl. I don't know if this was intentional, but you remember back when you and Kenny had to make the decision whether or not to shoot that girl. She's gonna get eaten by the zombies. It's gonna be used as a distraction.
Yeah.
And you chose not to shoot her. I did the same thing. Here, Kenny doesn't make the decision. He has one bullet left, and he decides to use that bullet on Ben. A mercy kill. Did you feel any kind of special symbolism from that? Any kind of special significance?
Oh, definitely. Obviously, he always knows Ben a little bit more than that random chick. Yeah. And thinking the girl actually bought us time. We get more supplies and everything, so it benefited us letting her, unfortunately, get eaten like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did it so Ben would be saved. That means Kenny's screwed.
Oh, I take it back. I'm sorry, I didn't shoot the girl. That's why I had less time. That's right now I remember.
Yeah.
So I
didn't shoot her, and I had time.
In retrospect, I should have chosen what you chose. But anyway, freaking
yeah. So that made Kenny seem like, wow, it's pretty legit. This guy who you absolutely hate for what he did, he didn't directly do it, but by his actions led to the death of both his wife and child.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
he by Ben to the wife and child of Kenny.
Yes. Yeah, clarify that. Sorry, maybe. And so the fact that Kenny decided to give, honestly, maybe some of it was you son of a bitch, I'm gonna shoot you. I mean, but the fact they did that in a way of a mercy killing, knowing that now Kenny's screwed. Kenny's got the worst option left.
So we'll save some Kenny's talk until our next pre-ultimate. This is the pre-ultimate episode. We're actually gonna have another one after this talking about theories. Okay, next, you put down the knife. Whenever you went to, whenever you finally did catch up with Clementine, you caught up with, we'll just call him Walkie-Talkie Guy. When you finally caught up with him, you put down the knife. You had the option to hang on to it or put it down, and you put it down. I
thought he would catch on that you still had it and make a comment or shoot you or hurt Clem. So I was like, I'm not going to take any risk. I'll put all my crap down.
I did the same thing. But
I didn't realize you could actually conceal the weapon.
Yes. Okay, Lee's backstory. We kind of off camera had this discussion about the fact that Lee's backstory, it's interesting, but it's completely ancillary. You could actually literally play the whole game and not get his backstory.
Not even sort of.
And it's, we kind of decided it kind of carried this real interesting parallel between the Lee, the school teacher Lee that did this horrible thing. It actually sympathized with him. I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to go from that Lee to this new survivor Lee, and they're just such different people. The Lee before you have no power over, but the Lee now you had a lot of influence over creating this Lee.
Yeah.
And I actually think it might work out for the better that the backstory wasn't that upfront. It wasn't that important to the overall story. But you actually had the option to not even hear it at all, but you chose to hear it. So what do you think about it?
It's interesting. I mean, it's the age-old question. Honestly, it's wrong to do it, but everyone in that situation probably would have. He feels sick, comes home from teaching, finds out his wife's having an affair, and he kills the dude. Of course, you don't get to know exactly how it happened. Was there a struggle? Was it an accident, but half accident, half I really want to kill him?
Yeah.
Or was it just straight up, bang, you're dead? I mean, we don't really know.
All we know is that the guy was a senator. And that's why, it was such big publicity, and that's why the hammer came down on him. So it makes you wonder if it was just like Joe Nobody, if, Lee would even have gone to jail. Who knows?
Yeah, Senator should kept it in his pants.
Now, this was kind of a controversial thing. I've seen, or I've heard from several different, podcasts and, reviews and all that. A lot of people did not like this twist. I personally loved it. Who the stranger was, who this walkie-talkie guy was, and how it ties all of your... It's not even your big decision. It tied a lot of your ancillary decisions, things you didn't think were going to be that important. It wasn't the, did you choose Doug or Carly situation. It's the, did you choose to take the hoodie from the station wagon? Like these tiny, tiny decisions, and they're all coming back to face you. How did you feel about the reveal of who the walkie-talkie stranger was?
I felt a little disappointment. I was like, well, really? But after how he tied it, how he tells you exactly what happens and everything, you're like, that's pretty cool. I mean, like, it's left field. I mean, you don't expect it. I was kind of pissed. I was like, oh, come on, dude. You're telling me I could have taken all your crap and still into the same boat. But no, I was a nice guy. I sided with the little girl and said, no, we're not taking your crap. We're not taking the hoodie. We're not taking nothing. And you're still going to point a gun at me and say, I'm going to kill you because you're a horrible person. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're much better there, St. John there.
What's in the bag? What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
I didn't even look. I knew exactly what was in the bag. I was like, that guy's twisted.
That guy was messed up.
I'm going to have the head of my white zombie wife.
Aren't you glad you didn't say, oh yeah, Clementine could go with you? We could be a family, indeed. Okay, you actually had the opportunity to choke the guy to death.
I didn't know that. I had one hand, man.
Yeah, but you came pretty close.
I kept going.
You kept going.
And in the game, when you get really, really close, but nothing happens, it usually means you're going to automatically lose, and then something else is going to happen to save you. So when I got really close and I couldn't pass it, I thought, oh, okay, something's going to happen. Yeah. And then it did happen. So I thought Clem was supposed to shoot him in the head and kill him. I didn't realize that was my job.
Yeah, you actually had the opportunity to choke him to death. Instead, Clementine had to do it.
Well, shoot him, not choke him to death. She's a freaking 9-year-old girl.
Speaking of which, how about that revelation about her birthday? Because, like, how old is she? Well, she's 8. I remember her saying that she was 8. She was talking about her 3rd grade teacher. Yeah, she's 8. She's 8. I know she's 8. She's 9. Oh, I'm a horrible surrogate father.
A week ago. In Lee's defense, that was like when they first got there, and all that crap was going down.
So it's still kind of heartbreaking, though.
Yeah.
To hear all of that. All right. Next, after all this, real quick, I don't have it written here, but I probably should have. The parents, how do you feel about the reveal of the parents? No surprises there?
None. You knew they were dead. You knew they were dead.
I actually got the implication from the message of the answering machine that they had died then.
Yeah, so I felt like the father was affected right away, because remember she called, something's wrong with your father, they keep it in the hospital. So very, 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 very first episode, like when I first got here and played, I was like, okay, they're dead. They're dead.
Same here. So like the whole, him telling Clem, oh, we can look for your parents. I was waiting for the option of, your parents probably didn't make it. And that never came up. So I was thinking, oh, maybe they're hiding something, or we heard that dad died, maybe the mom didn't.
Well, I saw it come up once, I'm pretty sure, but I blew it off because, like, I'm not telling this 8-year-old girl, your parents are dead. I felt like I give her the straightforward answer too much, and I was like, I'm going to sugarcoat this one.
And not sugarcoated enough. That look on her face. Dem looks. My goodness. And for all the faults that the Telltale Tools engine has, it does facial expressions pretty well. Especially the shocked or horrified Clementine looks. Like those pierce you right in the heart. You're like, oh man.
She just saw her zombie parents look right back at her, and she just lost it.
Which brings us to the next and I'd say last big decision of the game. Second to last. What?
Not the last decision of the game.
Well, there's one more big decision. I'll get that in a second. The second to last big decision of the game. Did you have her leave Lee there handcuffed, or did you have her shoot him?
I had her shoot him. As much as it hurt, and much as it probably definitely hurt her, I felt like seeing not only her parents, but the person who took care of her through all of this, also turn, it'd be too much. Not to mention that you could explain it, and he does, as not really killing him, but saving him from being one of them. So, I mean, obviously it would hurt. Obviously, she was crying, but it was the better alternative. It was either, it was lesser of two evils. I mean, it was freaking McCain and Obama. I mean, obviously McCain's definitely better, but neither of them are exactly you want. Romney, Obama, it's the same thing.
Oh, well.
Obama sucks butt, but neither of them you really want president.
Exactly.
Comparatively.
I made the same decision. The thought of just leaving a zombie lead there, I think, would have been the most heartbreaking way you could have ended that. And I thought that having Lee's story come to a definite end was the best way to bring closure to the situation. Which brings us to the actual final decision. What did you say to her as your last words?
I'm gonna miss you, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss you. Try not to cry. Lie on the floor. Cry a lot.
Yes. Get in the fetal position. Try not to cry. Cry a lot.
That was. I was expecting an I love you, and I'll miss you.
He almost does.
He almost does.
He cuts himself off, and then you have the choice to choose a few things, and I'll miss you is the closest thing to it.
I chose the same thing. This is definitely a good different topic for a different day. The concept of the father-daughter relationship in games and it's not being explored very deeply, and I think this game did an excellent job with it.
And The Last of Us, from what I can tell from it, seems really well.
Well, after we play The Last of Us, we're definitely going to have a PlayStation education on the concept of father-daughter relationships in games. Those are probably the two best examples. Two best examples in games thus far. Oh, so good. And then I'd say a third would be BioShock 2, but we probably don't have time to go through that. All right, last two wrap-up questions. Me and Krista, do you think they'll be in the next one?
I think yes. I don't think they'll have a very big role. I don't think they'll be in even as long as they were in this season. I think you'll see them or at least hear about them.
I want some backstory. What the heck is their backstory? All I know is that they were on a road trip.
What I want to know is, all right, this thing happened. By the time we met them, it was at least 4 or 5 months in when we met them. She's definitely not 4 or 5 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. What made them think that was a good idea? What made them think, let's make a kid during the zombie apocalypse?
It's zombie apocalypse. You're like, yeah, we might die tomorrow, so you wanna... Well, we're on a road trip.
I know, but at the same time, it's just like, you're gonna bring a kid into this world like that.
Okay, and finally, your last bit of advice to Clementine. What did you tell her?
Did I tell her? I think I told her to always be moving. Always be moving.
Always be moving. That's what I have written here. We're going to talk about a little bit more about that decision here in the kind of the wrap-up episode, our predictions episode for the coming season. But do you have any final thoughts here on The Walking Dead episode 1?
Episode 1? You mean season 1?
Season 1. Episode 5. The complete first season. Can you... And going into this game, obviously you played this game long after it got its Game of the Year nod, and
about a year after.
Me personally, it was tied with XCOM, Enemy Unknown, for my Game of the Year last year. Very close contender. Also Journey. We'll talk about that one another time. But two very different games. One extremely story driven, the other one extremely mechanics driven. Very different concepts. But for me, I put way more time into XCOM. So if you want to talk empirically, had most fun, definitely was XCOM. But the game where I tell people, hey, you have to play this game, was The Walking Dead. Obviously, you went to it after all the hype. So how do you feel it lived up to it?
Yes, and only because, I don't know if it's just because how dark the Bassette sense of humor is. Obviously, I didn't laugh as much on that. But just how dark we are, and how our favorite songs, favorite shows, everything is just like a punch to the gut. I think that really played a factor in how much I liked it.
Seasons of the Heart.
Oh, man.
So, will you be playing Season 2?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
I don't know what happens to little Clementine.
Hopefully on the PS4, yo. Like we did Logan did the black laugh. Anyways, this has been another episode of the PlayStation Education. Join us here in a few moments. We'll be talking about our predictions for season 6, where we are episode 6, and our predictions for season 2, where we think the series is going to go, and just give a few more anecdotes about our experiences with it. So make sure to have your thinking caps on. Get your pen and pencils at the ready. And make sure to make a duck face, because this is your PlayStation Education. Bye.
I'm a duck. Quack.